Hello everybody, my name is Goosebumps for Dummies, legally given that birth name, and today, finally, I'm going to be discussing some of these things that I should have discussed a long time ago, but never knew how to approach them. So why not just do them all in one video? Of a stage adaptation to Goosebumps, the stage shows of Goosebumps, you know? I'm going to be discussing the four stage adaptations, stage shows, stage whatevers of Goosebumps. There have been four prominent ones, and I'll just name them in case y'all don't know them. We have the first one, the Fright Show from Disney World back in the 90s. Then soon after, Live on Stage Show. They are two different things. I used to get them mixed up too, in case any of y'all don't know. They are two different things. We have Goosebumps Alive, which is apparently official. I haven't been able to find out for years because every source I've looked at is varying in saying its authenticity. And finally, Phantom of the Auditorium musical. Yeah, we're just going to be discussing each one and talking about my thoughts on them and what I think they could have been like and the plots if I know anything about them. Because some of these, it's pretty vague. Some of these you have to interpret from a book adaptation. Sometimes they're weird history and why they don't happen anymore. And yeah, let's just dive right into the first and the most infamous one aside from the other 90s stage show. We have the Horrorland Fright Show. Yes, I'll be showing like reference things this entire time, minus Goosebumps Alive. But yeah, the Horrorland Fright Show. Let me just get the flexing out of the way, you know. Hell yeah. The Horrorland Fright Show happened at Walt Disney World. Yeah, world, not land, the world. So this was an entire planet about Goosebumps. Jokes aside, this was big. This was a big thing back in the 90s, at least for Goosebumps, right? This was at fucking Disney World. It happened in 1998 and lasted until November the following year, and it started in October the previous year, so it lasted over a whole year. This show went on for over a year at Walt Disney World. Crazy to think. I hope the actors didn't get tired of playing that one out. And yeah, speaking of which, you can actually see the full thing on YouTube because someone back in the day actually recorded it on who knows what, probably a VHS camera, whatever they used. I wasn't born in the 90s. You can watch it on YouTube. I think it's pretty easy to find to search up the Goosebumps Live on the Stage Show. Sorry, Goosebumps Horrorland Fright Show. I still get it mixed up name-wise. And yeah, the plot is fairly simple. Slappy wreaks havoc on a Mazo show, which takes place in Horrorland, and so do other monsters, which he summons like Curly, Cuddles, and Prince Karoo, to name a few. That rhymed. I think this is a really cool show once you watch it. It's about 20-15 minutes. It's not very long. And it's neat. It was really cool to see that Goosebumps got such a big treatment, and it was a gamble, because obviously at the time, 1997 to 1998, Goosebumps was slowly fading out. So it was like, is it worth it? And there's an even bigger gamble that happened right after this, like trying to revive Goosebumps almost, or they just weren't aware that was, you know, slowly fading. This was just a really little neat show that they put on for over a year. And yeah, they even released a couple things. Plus, there was a fun house attraction, which we know little to nothing about, besides it was there. And I believe we have an image of the front of it. The front of the fun house attraction that you could go to. Plus, little fun facts, they give out Goosebumps collectibles here. I believe that's where most of them, if not all of them, originally came from. I am not sure if they sold Goosebumps collectibles in the stores mass-produced. I'm going to assume maybe, because they're very common online. But to be fair, this went on for a year, so I'm sure a lot of them got sold. As well as Series 2. Yeah, Series 2 came from this event. Probably way later in its lifespan, I'm sure. Not quite sure, because I don't own any, so I can't check the, you know, the years of release dates. But either way, Series 2. That's why it exists, because this exists. So yeah, next up, my personal favorite, because of many things, we have the Live on Stage Show. The most infamous one. Because of its book and the very, very rare merchandise, which I will flex in a minute. Dreams in the Night. And this one you can read, because this is one of the two where you can actually read it, pretty much. This is apparently a very accurate version of the show, and I'm going off, you know, the word. And what we have of images, because there's some fucking cool images that people have found online. I believe there's one of the snake, or, well, yeah, the snake from the second story in the book. I believe there's one of Slappy, which looks really cool, and just photos from the actual stage, because this is a very direct adaptation of what was seen on stage, only, of course, not as awesome, probably, unless the costumes look like shit, but I'm sure it lasted long enough to not look like shit, because, I mean, they wouldn't put on a show that looks like shit, would they? Anyways, Screams in the Night is a very, very great book, and I think it's one of the best Goosebumps books ever made, let alone it is a very, very crazy story. 3 stories in one, plus an overarching story that may or may not make you rethink reality. Yeah, it's a fucking blast. So if you can get this novel right here, this little novel, and it's like 90 pages, even less actually, it's like 94. Go for it. It's a really cool thing. Plus there's a nice Series 2000 list, which is something we just don't see very often. And of course, Slappy. And this is one of Slappy's best appearances, so if you're a Slappy fan, you gotta check this out. As well as, why not show it, exclusive Jacobus art. And I mean Jacobus. There's a ghoul back here. That's done by Jacobus. Even though you can barely see it. I don't know about these. I doubt they were, but there are whole pages of art done by Tim Jacobus. Let me just find one real quick. There's a mascot design, and here is the snake. Hell yeah, this is not even on the wiki. This isn't on the wiki, so you gotta get this shit from the book. There is Jacobus art in here. There's really awesome hands reaching out of coffin or trunk, if you've read the book. Costume trunk. Ooh, spoilers. Go read it. It's awesome. We even have Slappy's Fun House sign. We have, well, whoop-de-doo. There's the man himself. And yeah, there's some great art here. Oh, here's one more. This one is done by Jacobus as well, I believe. Oh, it looks awesome. Look at that. That is awesome. And there's some great art in here. And yeah, it's really worth checking out. Yes, that was a whole Ask Lay session just for the book alone. The stage show, these were actually given out at it. You got these, I believe, for free at the stage show. They just gave one to everybody, which is why they're not super rare online, because these were given out to so many people back in the day. So that's why a bunch of them exist. These were given out for free, I believe. If not, thank you for buying them, people of the 90s. Yeah, and this was another traveling stage show. I believe one of 2 again, because another one we're about to bring up in a bit, the final one. It also traveled, and also was based off a book, or has a book based off it. Sorta. Yeah, so this was a traveling show. This traveled from town to town. I don't know if it ever came to Montana, but if it did, maybe I'll find this one day. Yeah, in the wild, I mean. This was a really cool novel, and I'm sure the stage show was just as cool, if not better, because it's played out. And check out the novel. And yeah, they released some merch with this stage show event. Starting off with the tram. What the fuck? This is the most random Goosebumps item, like, ever made. It's just a tram that has Slappy on it. It says live on stage. Oh yeah, it has dates on it. So I guess I know it started in 1998. I guess it did end in 1998 because it says September 5th. So, it didn't last forever, but it was a traveling show. And not to mention the iconic Slappy doll that I own. Yeah, I fucking own this thing. If y'all watch Goosebumps shorts, I have not treated it with the pride it deserves. I have ruined it voice-wise. Not literally ruined it. It's in pretty good condition still. But I have ruined my relationship with this doll. Yeah. This is a really weird thing that exists. Slappy doll. Honestly, it's kind of better than the, this ugly shit right here, you know? Honestly, I prefer this one, as dumb as that might sound. It's cuter. And yeah, Live on Stage happened in 1998 and ended very soon after. And yeah, it's probably gonna be the last stage show of Goosebumps until Horrorland came in and revived the franchise. And then we got Goosebumps Alive. Bam, baby. This one happened in 2016, I believe, May of that year, and I have nothing to say about it. There's this awesome art by Tim Jacobus, which I think is really cool. I know some neat references to books like Cuckoo Clock of Doom, blah, 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 everyone, of course, Night Living Dummy, Multiple Night of Living Dummies, actually. Attack the Jack Lenz, if I'm not mistaken. If not, Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. If not both, I believe both. And other books. Stay Out of the Basement, I believe, was even in there. Maybe even Phantom, which we'll bring it up soon. Woo! Yeah, seriously, this was a weird thing that happened, because for many years, I had no fucking clue what the licensing was on this. The wiki says absolutely nothing, from at least what I was able to read. I had to get help, and I just looked at many articles before in the past, and it was all super confusing, because people online and on YouTube videos and other places said it was fan-made and official. Of course, not both people, one person saying, oh, it's fan-made and official. No, it's separate people saying separate things. It's just like, it confused me. So the licensing on this one, just so y'all know, it is official. Alright, pretty sure of it. It sounds official because Stine's on it, his name's on it, they used to get the logo, they got Jacobus art, and it seems like an official event to tie in with the movie that came out recently, less than a year ago at the time, and the DVD release, which came out the same fucking year. So it actually feels right. It makes sense to me that this is official. Albeit very strange, because there's apparently a scary version of this for adults. Yeah, this is a adult show. Not with sex. No, there's no, like, sexual intercourse between Slappy and Mary Ellen or minors, which would be even fucking worse. No, this is just scary enough, like, rated R type shit, at least in one path. Because this is actually split up into two paths. Excluding the gift shop and all the other stuff, I believe there's even a cafe that was Goosebumps themed. Yeah. If not a fake one, for the set design. There were two paths, one for kids, which was obviously kids themed. It was not too scary, but it had enough frights. You know, it was kids horror. And then you had a YA or adult horror theme. You know, Goosebumps, but more edgy and scarier with more morbid monster designs. And, you know, just being generally more high stakes feeling. And yeah, I'll pop up the stories right here. They're very interesting. Not a lot I can say about them, besides they're pretty cool. I like that, and I want to bring this up now, the Tiger Lilies got involved in this. There were actually some climbing on my window. They released a whole ass Goosebumps album with just Goosebumps music, but I believe was all used at some point within this show, which is just fucking sick, alright? You can go listen to it on YouTube, and same with the next one, just hyping that up all of a sudden. You can go listen to this on YouTube right now. Search up Goosebumps Tiger Lilies. They've made a whole, I think 18 songs for this show. Around that number, 15 to 18. There were a lot, and honestly, some of them are really good. Horrorland sounds awesome. Agony and Mad are really cool. And probably the most obvious one, Goosebumps, which is very strange, but they're all really cool in their own respective ways. Some of them kind of not great, but overall, it is a really good Goosebumps-themed album from the Tiger Lilies of all fucking people. Wow. Yeah, that was the thing that happens. First time I've ever bringing this up, but yeah, I believe that is official too, because it was tying into this. Be a lot of effort for an unofficial event to have the Tiger Lilies, R.L. Stine's name on it, and Jacobus art. Albeit Jacobus is very active nowadays, but still, what the fuck? Yeah, very, very, very strange event. Nonetheless, still awesome. And yeah, it ended very shortly, I believe. It didn't last very long. I believe it was due to conflicts with Scholastic. If I'm mistaken, I probably am, for all I know. Either way, I don't think it was able to sustain itself or made enough money. One of those reasons. Either way, it is no longer a thing. So yeah, let's move on to the final stage show. And honestly, this could be my favorite, but of course, I prefer live on stage more, at least story-wise. This is based off The Phantom of the Auditorium. And it is The Phantom of the Auditorium musical. Goosebumps, the fucking musical, or Goosebumps musical, The Phantom of the Auditorium. Or Goosebumps, The Phantom of the Auditorium musical, or The Phantom of the Auditorium musical, or Goosebumps, the musical based off The Phantom of the Auditorium. You get the idea. It has many names. This one had some pretty big names, you know. And it was actually, get this, a Broadway fucking musical. Yeah, this is a Broadway musical about book 24, the most unpopular and one of the very unreprinted Goosebumps books ever made, Phantom of the Auditorium, that not a lot of people even like. It's just like, what the fuck? But I kind of get the choice, because it's about theater. You're gonna make a Goosebumps musical. What are you gonna do? Stay in the basement of the musical? That would be actually pretty fire, though. I have a feeling this person really liked Phantom of the Opera. Whoever was behind this, I believe Danny A. Bosch was the main person behind this. Or at least he made the music. Yeah, conceptualizing this, I believe the people behind this really liked Phantom of the Auditorium. And yeah, it's really good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and you can listen to this on YouTube right now. This is a very good musical. At least the score is. And it will vary, because this is another traveling show, and it is very accurate to the Phantom of the Auditorium story with tweaks and stuff. There is a Stine cameo in the soundtrack version, not in the live show. I don't think you'll ever get that. I've never been to it, because it's never come to my fucking town. Never will. Not even in Montana. They just keep missing me. I love you guys. Come here to Montana. I'll watch it every day. Every fucking day, every evening, I'm going to this show, man. And getting autographs. Sell them on eBay. Moving on. This is on YouTube right now, like I said, and it's really good. There are some banger tracks. May I recommend Goosebumps, the story of the Phantom Interacte. It's pretty solid instrumental. And overall, the soundtrack is great with a few duds. Understudy, buddy. And honestly, I recommend it to non-musical fans. If you are a Goosebumps fan, you might get into musical. Honestly, I'm not into musical, even after listening to this, but I was more open to it after listening to it. Because it ain't bad at all. It is a really good musical, and if you guys ever get to see the stage play of this in real life, tell me how it was for you, because obviously experience will vary, because this is a Broadway musical that can be in, like, a small town in, like, Illinois. Yeah. That's the type of shit you're getting here. You can get varying quality heavily. Like, I'm sure mine, if I had one here, would be dog shit. And then if I went to, like, New York City, it'd be really fucking good. You get what I'm saying? So it will vary. And yeah, this is the only form we can really experience it through, besides maybe, like, wiki descriptions of it. Which is big help. I might link some stuff in the description from the wiki. And I'll link Wikipedia pages for, like, Goosebumps Alive. And yeah, really a fun musical to listen to. Want to watch it one day. And if you have watched it, tell me what you think about it. And tell me what you think about any of these below. Have you ever been, as a 90s kid, to any of the 90s stage plays? Have you seen the musical live? I know a friend of mine has, Goosebumps Completionist. Heard it was great. Did you ever get to experience Goosebumps Live, which I believe was in fucking London? Or at least in the UK. Really cool. Forgot to mention that, sorry. And yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and tell me what you think of the stage shows of Goosebumps. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.